Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Lights Camera Discussion podcast. We are back with part two of our Bettinelli-Olpin Tyler Gillet episodes, aka the hacks that Todd chose. So let's just get straight into it then. Todd, what is the first film we're talking about on this episode?
So our first film today is Scream 2022. Which is.
Did you watch the 2021 ones before it, or is that okay to just watch this one?
It is. You have to watch the first two, preferably.
Never mind. That joke's just completely sailed. Like you said, 2022 is in like 2022 ones. So do you have to watch the 2021 before it?
I thought you just being sarcastic about the amount of Scream films that happened before.
Start again.
Bin it off. Call it right.
No,
I think I'm wasted, to be honest. That's like the fourth joke today that neither of you have taken me on.
Where's the common denominator? Right. Anyway,
you fucking idiots.
So, when Tara is brutally attacked in a home by Ghostface, Sam must return back to Woodsboro to help her sister and face a dark past. Sam, Tara, some new faces, and a host of familiar ones must fight to survive against Ghostface in another Woodsboro massacre.
What's the town called?
Woodsboro.
Woodsboro. It's just the way you're saying it. It wasn't like they say it in America. But the way you're saying it's so funny.
I'm thinking like, I've watched these
films.
Woodsboro.
Don't bit. Oh well. Okay. Well, Todd, thoughts on this film?
Yeah, so I've seen this a few times. I went into it quite tentatively because I love the original. I'm not a massive lover of the entire franchise, but especially that first film is an iconic horror film, and like redefined slashers. But yeah, I love it. I think it's a really good sort of entry into the franchise. It's also a really good just slasher film in general. I think it walks the line really nicely of like meta commentary on film and horror, while also being quite funny, like having some elements of it, but obviously not then falling into the level of comedy that Ready or Not did. It has a lot of elements that work really well together that could be done really badly, but work really well together.
Fair enough. Yeah, so this is the second time I've watched this one. Spoiler alert, I think the reveal didn't hit as hard for me this time. I actually knocked it down a little bit from my first the first scoring of it. But yeah, no, it's a fine film. Like, there's some things I really enjoy about it. There's some things that I'm not quite keen on. But certainly I think like the performances are really good. I don't have the same affinity for like the Scream films. Like I've seen them, and they're fine. It's just not really my sort of thing. But yeah, I think it's a worthy kind of addition to like the ones that I've seen and stuff there. Some pretty gory kills, which is obviously what you want in a film like this. But yeah, you know, it's fine. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to say like it was a masterpiece or anything, but I did enjoy it to a point. Collie?
Yeah, I loved it. I think it's like you're saying there, Massey. I think it's a very worthy addition to the series. I didn't really enjoy Scream 4. I wasn't a massive fan of that. Love the original. 2 and 3 are pretty good to good. But I think this is kind of reinvigorated or rebooted the franchise, which I think was the intention anyway. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the twist. I enjoyed the killings. Enjoyed a lot of the performances as well. I think it was quite bold, spoiler alert, I guess, but to kill off Dewey, I thought that was a very brave choice because he's such a beloved character. But I think that is in line with the original films and the subsequent films that nobody is off limits, really, from being killed. So I think that was the director's choice to show, because I think like, you know, they're not doing 7. I think they were originally attached to do 7. They're only going to have done 5 and 6, but I think like this was their right. This is our stamp on it. We're paying homage to the originals, but we're also taking it in our own direction. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
Good stuff. Excellent. Well, I mean, obviously talking about the sort of performances, certainly the sort of like the main sisters, Melissa Barrera, Sam, and Jen Ortega as Tara. We'll obviously start off with Tara getting the phone call, sort of in the same way that Drew Barrymore did. I really enjoyed that part of things. Again, it was a kind of nod back to the sort of originals. But I mean, mainly Todd, what were your thoughts on those two being the main characters, kind of in this film?
Yeah, I love them as I'd like to have seen that sort of carry on. After Scream 6, essentially. I think the introduction with obviously Jenna Ortega as Tara worked so well. Like, again, she's somebody who just works in horror. Like, she has that sort of the facial expressions and that panic on her face in that opening scene are amazing. I think they work as sisters as well. Like, I believe that they're related. I think they have that chemistry, and I know it's obviously in this film it's an estranged relationship, but like you still believe that they care for each other. I love Melissa Barrera. I think she's one of those actresses who doesn't won't be on like the top of people's lists because she doesn't do like these big over the top, like she doesn't have like a trademark sort of like the scream that Samara Weaving has, any of that sort. Sorry, I had to get her in this one. No, like she doesn't have those big trademark moments, but what she does really well. And I think I could see her in drama and it would work really well. I love her, like the suspicions of everybody, the relationships with everybody in this film. I think, both of them are absolutely solid and could have and should have carried this franchise forward. Beyond 6. I thought they were both excellent.
Yeah, I agree with Barrera. I think like she's such a strong presence, and it's it kind of helps. It's not like another sort of scream queen kind of thing or anything. It's like she's kind of like almost an adversary for the Ghostface kind of killers and stuff. And yeah, it's funny you said about them being believable sisters. That's something I noted as well. Is that them two as sisters is like a proper. They've got the chemistry. They've got the they kind of look similar as well, but not like too similar in ways that siblings kind of do as well. Which I really liked. So, but yeah, I know. I think as you're saying, Jen Ortega is made for horror. Like that's absolutely spot on. I think she's doing Wednesday and all that sort of stuff, which is what she kind of brings to the table. So, a very good actress. Collie?
Yeah, I think just to echo what you guys are saying, I think their portrayal of sisters is very believable. That opening scene with Jen Ortega is unbelievable. I think it's obviously a clear homage to the original, but I think there's enough twists and turns in it to make it completely like different. And seeing this on release, not knowing that she was going to be in the sequel, and she was kind of like, she started making her a name for herself at this point. So it was like, won't they kill her off? So the kind of the subverting of expectations there, I think was good. And exactly what you're saying with Barrera, she's perfect in this, in these two films that we're going to be discussing as this kind of elder sister. But then I really, really enjoy the conversations that she has with her dad and stuff, like in the car and in the mirror, and then obviously in the next film as well. It's hard to sometimes differentiate between the two films because they were released so close together, and it's a lot of the same cast and stuff that carry forward. But yeah, just super, super strong performance. And yeah, Jen Ortega's like got this like face that she pulls sometimes when she's screaming, like her lips turn down, and it's like she does it in the oh god, what's those films with Mia Goth in them? And she's in the first one.
Pearl and X.
Pearl and X and stuff like that. Whatever the first one is of that she's in, because she's like one of the film or whatever. She's got this perfect scream in that, and she kind of uses it again in these two films. I think she's great. So yeah, just thoroughly enjoyed both their performances, and I think they're worthy. They're good enough to carry films like this. And like Todd says, it's just disappointing that these two films they're going to be the only Scream ones that they're going to be in at the moment anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, kind of touch on the rest of the kind of the group. What is it they call themselves again? I can't remember.
core four
It's
in the
core
next
four,
film.
yeah.
Core 4, yeah, that's it. Again, you're right with trying to differentiate between the two sort of films. It's kind of hard, isn't it? But yeah. So you've got obviously Jack Quaid, Mikey Madison, a guy we spoke about before in our Fede Alvarez episode, Dylan Minnette, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Mason Gooding as well. Even Kyle Gallner kind of shows up for a really small part as well. What were your thoughts on on those guys? Anyone that stood out for yourself, Todd?
Jack Quaid is just doing fucking fantastic work. Like from this forward, I think this is obviously The Boys as well was like his big sort of introduction. I'm not entirely sure, but my introduction to him anyway. And yeah, he plays the sort of innocent, wide-eyed, like I'm here for the ride, and like how believable it is that he's not Ghostface and that it's too obvious. It can't be him. There's no way that would be too obvious. And those red herrings are not the writing. But yeah, I love that he can play a dickhead so well. Like those last sort of moments, he just absolutely nails it. And his relationship with Melissa Barrera throughout the film as well, I thought was really good. In terms of like, again, him just being that caring person who just wants to be there. Mikey Madison, Oscar winning actress in a Scream film is just something else. But again, she's brilliant. Like I didn't like her the whole, as in like the character. I didn't like Amber. There was always something about her. I was like, why are you so overprotective? Why are you so picky? And their two relationship. When he's talking about, I was just watching Netflix, and she's like, "Come on, then Netflix." Like that, the work between them two and the way they bounced off each other worked really well. And I love the twins. I think them two together are absolutely brilliant. Like that Mason Gooden, I think he's sort of stepping up as well. He was in Heart Eyes, and was really good in that. But yeah, like I say, it's hard to sort of bring them down into single moments, because as an ensemble they work really well. Again, they're believable friends. This is a group of mates that have existed before we've seen them, before we've encountered them, which isn't always the case. And like I said, Kyle Gallner getting being a proper wanker and getting killed too. What's the song?
Red Right Hand.
Red Right
Peaky
Hand.
Blinders, yeah.
So like such
Which
a
is
cool
from the
scene.
original films. They use it in the original films as
do
well.
they? Okay.
So it's a really good callback, yeah.
I just thought it was cool to see him, because again, he's somebody who is like a massive, part of horror, and like being in little films and little parts like this in big films, and then obviously leading films as well. So, but like you say, ensemble cast from top to bottom, brilliant.
Yep. Collie?
Yeah, I think like Todd's covered a lot of the bases there. Obviously, like big fans of Mikey Madison here, and just her death scene in this, it just makes me laugh just as much as her one in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's the same, like she's on fire and running about and screaming. It just seems to be a trademark of her almost. But her twist when she just turns around and shoots that Liv in the head. I remember the first time watching it, because she's got like such a weird like atmosphere about her throughout the film. You're kind of, is she, isn't she? And which is really good writing, but then when it turns out that she is Ghostface / one of the Ghostfaces, it's just satisfying the way that it's like, oh my god, I was right all along, because you're like, oh, you're questioning the whole time. And I think that's kind of obviously a carry on, like I carry through all the films. That you're supposed to like be distrusting of everybody, and then as soon as you start trusting them, then it turns and it is them or it isn't them or whatever. But yeah, her portrayal was really good. And like you're saying, Todd, like the interactions between her and Jack Quaid's Richie throughout it, like when they first even get introduced to each other, when you rewatch it, you can kind of see that they're a bit like, oh hi, kind of. You can see that it's laying breadcrumbs almost when you know what's going to happen. But no, I love them, and I love the twins as well. Kind of Mindy's whole take on of and not being like, I love the series, but not being overly familiar. But I think, is it their uncle is the guy in the original film.
Yeah,
It's like telling the story of like, oh,
these are the
you know,
rules.
like these are the rules and stuff like that. And that's what confuses me. Not confuses me, but what I love about these films being so meta is that, like, they've obviously got the Stab series within the film, and that's the meta version, but they're like meta about the meta about the meta, and it's all confusing about like what was actually real in their universe to us, to the Stab films, and it's really confusing. But also, I do like that aspect, and the fact that Mindy's like taking on her uncle's role of these are the rules, and we'll obviously get onto it in the next film when she's like fuck this franchise and stuff, but and the requels and all that stuff. But yeah, really top to bottom, that group were really, really good.
Yeah, totally agree.
Anything to add, Massey?
No, you've kind of covered everything, to be perfectly honest. Which thank you for that. It means you don't have to do too much talking. But no, I totally agree with what you guys are saying as well. I think the whole group in general were we're really well done. So I'll move on to kind of the next sort of bits and pieces. So like the kind of original cast that come back, obviously Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette. Todd, what were your thoughts on their kind of inclusion in this sort of film?
I thought David Arquette coming back as Dewey, I really liked him. I thought he was. The problem is, right? My view of these films has ever so slightly been ruined by the Scary Movie franchise
100%.
because they were so close.
Yeah.
Like, and he. It's so close. Like, he might as well have just drawn himself a little sort of star badge. He's but he again, he has that level of slapstick about him. And there's one line that he delivers where he's talking about are you the killer? Because that cut through or something like that. Like, he's such a sad sack. And I love him for that. I liked having Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox back. And I think there were some moments that were really, really good for them, and it was cool to have them back. But there were also some moments that were a little bit sort of like needle like scratch type thing, where it was like, hey guys, we're doing a callback, and it just sort of like yeah remember. And the thing is, this whole sort of like people get, and I think it's in the next. No, it's not. It's in this one. It's in this film where she's talking about all the different films that can like go back to like Star Wars and like talking about all the other franchises that do like the whole South Park member berries thing. Like, it's the only reference I've got for it. But like they're allowed to do it in this. They're allowed to because it's so meta. Like, it works. But there were moments of Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell where I was just sort of like, all right, we get it. You're back. And it was a little bit overplayed. But I still thought they were like, again, their chemistry with each other was really good. It was, and the three of them, and sort of how Gail felt about Dewey and how Dewey felt about Gail, I thought was a nice through line as well. It's weird that they weren't the highlights. It's good, but like, as in the new cast were allowed to be the highlight, and were allowed to be, we're allowed to be at the forefront. They were just a nice addition to it. And like you say, I agree with Dewey dying. I think it was a bold choice, but one that worked really well for the film and the franchise.
Yeah. I didn't like them. I didn't like it. Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox. I think Dewey Cox. No, we're not walking hard right now. We're not walking hard. David Arquette coming back as Dewey. I thought he was really good, but the two, Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell, I didn't like them. It just kind of it almost took away from the core group for me. I would have preferred it, I think, just having Dewey there. I understand why they want them back, because of the whole reason behind the obviously meta thing, and also because of Dewey as well. With the decision to kill him, that then adds more if you've got his original pals or love interest and stuff there. But yeah, they just didn't do it for me. They kind of turn up and then are essentially have like plot armor and then can just are almost like.
But they don't though. They don't though. That's the thing. They don't have plot armor though.
But
you know what I mean? Like
because they like kill Mikey Mads, or no, so like they fight her off and stuff like that. It just felt like it was like they're like the saviors, the White Knights coming in to kind of save the group. That's what I took from it anyway. I don't know. I just didn't like it. Maybe I'm just misogynistic, but I just didn't like the
There's
inclusion.
something with an ick at the end, but I wouldn't say misogynistic.
Yeah, no, I didn't quite get it. Collie, thoughts?
I thought they were good. I thought the kind of the ending with, you know, the two new sisters, and then Gail and God, what's her name? Sydney. Sorry,
Sydney.
Gail and Sydney coming in. Like, I thought that was a perfect pass to the torch moment. To be honest, obviously Neve Campbell doesn't return in the next film for non-storyline reasons. But I think, like, even if neither of them had returned in the next film, or both of them had returned, I think like the passing of the torch was good, and I think it just leans into the kind of the meta aspect of it, that these are the people that went through it 25 years ago, the passing of the torch. I don't really understand, like, when Gail gets shot by Mikey Madison, like, I thought that when I originally watched it, that could be them killing both of them off, potentially. I don't think they were protected whatsoever, which I think is kind of the point of bringing back them. But no, I thought they were really good. I thought Arquette was really good. I think I seen a quote that he was most excited to grow back his Dewey, like, moustache and his facial hair. I think that's one of the reasons why he signed on for it. But no, I thought they were both excellent. Sorry, all three of them were excellent. And one tidbit that I found about David Arquette, who is a certified Bob Ross painting instructor, taught several of the cast members how to paint like the legendary artist during filming breaks. So there we go.
Oh,
Wow.
bless him.
Jeez, oh.
A certified Bob Ross painting instructor, whatever the fuck that means.
Well, I know what I'm going to be doing next. Getting my Bob Ross certification. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about? Anyone else that kind of brought up, Todd?
Not necessarily the cast, but I just think in terms of direction and in terms of the film itself, I love that there was constantly in the background something that was like long and black with white in the middle. Like, there are constant references to sort of like ghost faces all over. So like in the basement where they go and get the beer, there's like something lent against the wall, and the way that it's lent when it's out of focus could very easily be a ghost face. And then there's in the house where the young lad's walking about, what's he called, Wes, when he's walking around and he's opening all the doors, there's an iron board with clothes draped across them, and it's white and black, and I think stuff like that. But I also love how fucking brutal, like, this, like, the stabbing and the deaths in this film. Like, I know it's obviously, like, as a slasher, they've always been a little bit brutal, but the amount of times that Melissa Barrera stabs Richie is it's mad, and it goes on and it's in detail, and I think they've sort of took that and run with it a little bit, and I rate that.
The bit I noticed that was the killing of the police officer.
Yeah.
The killing of her, that was like loads of stabbing as well, and it was like really slow and stuff. And then obviously the killing of her son as well was brutal.
Yeah.
Because is that he gets stabbed through the face? Is that him that gets stabbed in like the cheek or whatever? I'm sure he's up against the door or something like that. Or no, the neck. Is it through the neck? Side of his neck or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I just remember it's a really close shot.
Oh, it goes through his neck, doesn't it? It goes like through.
It goes like in and out of like the side of it, I think. Yeah. No, I thought, and even the special effects in terms of like obviously the makeup and stuff. I thought that that was really, really good as well.
Yep, definitely. All right. Todd, anything else? I think we kind of covered.
I've got one thing to add.
Oh yeah, go for it.
That the directors shelved their proposed film Cocaine Bear in order to make this movie. So there we go.
Oh, wow. So they were going to do Cocaine Bear?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow, interesting. Might be a better film if it was them. So let us move on to your favourite bits and pieces. So, favourite quote, Todd?
It is Mikey Madison who, when she's trying to defend herself, says no. When they're saying, "Oh, and I suppose it's films that made you this way," and she says, "No, it's the message boards. I've been radicalized." Which I thought was fantastic.
It made me think of Four Lions. Radicalize the moderates. It's exactly. As soon as she said that, it made me laugh. Yeah.
Mine was also Amber saying Jordan Peele fucking rules.
Yeah.
Sorry, just
does.
on that before I say my quote, but the whole Ryan Johnson directing Stab 8.
Yeah.
By the way, that's what they were annoyed about. Just made me really laugh as like another meta commentary, obviously on Star Wars. For me, it was when Amber shoots Liv and she just goes, "Welcome to Act 3." I thought that was just a really cool line, like
So
delivery
cool.
as well.
Yep. Favorite scene, Todd?
It's Wes's house where he's walking through, and every door that opens and closes, and every corner you are waiting for it. Like you don't breathe through that scene. With Andy, yeah, really well done. Really well done.
Good stuff. Yeah, mine was the reveal of Amber as one of the killers. So like that, I think the way they revealed it, with her just shooting, just out of nowhere doing that, I did enjoy that part. Collie?
Yeah, the opening scene for me with Jenna Ortega on the phone and stuff. I thought like it was just a perfectly paced kind of homage to the original.
Mm-hmm. And MVP, Todd?
I couldn't really split the cast, so I'm going with the writers, James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. I think to take a franchise that was like, again, sort of diminishing returns, and to make it so fresh and to have those twists and turns in that writing, was the story was fantastic. So I went with them too for that.
Good stuff. Collie?
I went with Melissa Barrera. I thought the whole I'm saying with the passing of the torch from like Cindy to her, or Neve Campbell to her, I thought was really well handled. And obviously we're going to talk about her in the next 2 films after this as well. So I think it was definitely the start of me noticing how good she is.
Yep, I totally agree. Barrera as well for me. Just felt like a proper strong female lead. Yeah, I was behind her all the way. Absolutely.
I thought like the whole fact that she's Loomis's daughter and the kind of she's not like, she's a bit psycho as well herself. Hence the stabbing and that and that. I thought that was a good touch in terms of she's not this generation's Sydney or whatever, in terms of like, oh, it's all happening to her. And obviously we'll talk about it more in the next film as well, but it's more just like she's got the capability of being fucking violent as well, and not being like reactionary, but more like proactive about it as well.
Yep, absolutely. All right, scores, Todd.
I've gone 4 stars, but talking about it, I don't know why. I think I would probably go higher, but 4 stars is what it's on Letterboxd as.
Fair enough. I've gone 3.5. It was 4 stars, but it was just like I say, the reveal just knocked down that. I had more of a reaction to the reveal the first time that I did this time, but yeah, 3.5. Collie?
It was a 4 for me, but I try with these kind of films to do it as like ranking them in the series, if that makes sense.
Fair. Yeah.
So like number 1 is like, a 5 out of 5, and then it's kind of where do I balance the rest of them. I'd probably say this is maybe second or third favorite in the whole series for me, so maybe it should be higher than a 4, but I do find it hard to balance what we're trying to do, which is like rank them director wise.
Yeah.
And then also rank them like franchise wise as well. It's a bit difficult, but I'm happy with a 4, but it could easily be more.
Yeah.
Or higher.
Fair enough. All right, Todd, what's the next film we're talking about?
So our next film is 2023's Scream 6. After surviving the events of yet another Woodsboro massacre, Tara thinks she can go off to college and be happy, and then Ghostface comes back. With Sam being the lead suspect, can they figure out who is donning the Ghostface mask and survive another attack?
Ooh. Todd, first thoughts?
How dare they kill off Samara Weaving and say he or she is? No, I'm joking. Again, it's another brilliant entry into the franchise. It's a lot of fun. Again, those twists and turns keep coming. I like the characters in it. The characters and the performances are both excellent. And I think, like I said, I think this is a sort of a step up for the. I know we'll talk about them more specifically, but for the return and cast from the previous film, I think it's a step up for them. And like I said, it was taking the franchise in such an exciting direction.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one more than the last one. I think it adds loads more to the kind of mythos of it, and I think the change of scenery helps as well, being New York City. So yeah, I really really enjoyed this film a lot more than the first one, and yeah, I can't believe they killed off Samara Weaving so early on.
Twist in that dress as well, terrible.
What does that mean?
She was a very nice dress.
Okay, fair. First thoughts, Collie?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think, not to spoil the ratings or the overall, I prefer the previous one. I think it's just a bit more based in the. I think this one just becomes a little bit, for me, more convoluted. I know that you're wanting to twist and turn it, but the whole like Flash Thompson at the start being like killers and then they get killed off within the first 10 minutes. I like that as a twist, but then I think it just tries a bit too hard to like twist and twist and twist the fact that what's her name, the lassie that ends up being the killer, like she dies and then comes back at the end. I like that twist, but kind of I think what you're saying about the previous film, Massey, that when you know that twist, it's just that it lessens it a little bit on each rewatch, maybe.
Yeah.
And I just think the performances out with the core four aren't as strong as like Mikey Madison and Jack Quaid in the previous film, if that makes sense. I didn't really, the killers aren't as like post reveal aren't as like well acted in my opinion. I love it. I totally agree with the whole different setting and in New York, and that's what they kind of really pushed as the marketing for it, which was really cool. But it just doesn't hit the highs of the last film for me because it's like too removed. And I'm not like a Scream purist. Like I don't. It's only in the last maybe 5-10 years I've started to love the series because I used to be a baby and not like horror films. But like, so I'm not so precious about it. But I find the whole like captured universe a little bit better than they kind of moved away. And I think just maybe the casting was a bit weaker of the killers, like coming back around to my original point. But then like, are you always going to get a Mikey Madison and Jack Quaid level person to play the killer? And I think like even just the extended friend group was stronger in the previous film. So yeah, and Neve Campbell's a big miss in this. I must say. I know, Massey, you weren't big on her in the last film, but I think it just does. It doesn't necessarily lessen it because like she would have just been alongside Gail helping again, probably, but it does bring it down a little bit for me.
That's fair enough.
And Hayden Panettiere or whatever the fuck her name is, like I like her. Don't get me wrong, but again, it's like it's a step down in quality of acting and stuff. And to be fair to her, they kind of dragged her out of semi-retirement to come back for this film. Like they legitimately like almost couldn't find a way to contact her, but she was on some show and they knew somebody who was producing that because she doesn't have an agent or something like that. Wow. So like it was she was like trying to go Bill Murray with it, you know, like not wanting to talk to anybody or anything like that. And I don't get me wrong, she's good and I'm glad that she's back, but I don't really like Scream 4, so to have a character back from that, I don't particularly care, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair. All right, well, I mean, we've kind of obviously spoken about the characters, really. Sorry, the actors, anyway. Was there anything that was done differently in this film, maybe by the characters or by the actors, or even the new kind of guys that came in, like Ethan, Dermot Mulroney as the detective, and then the sister as well. I can't remember her name. But was there anything that they did differently or brought to the table that
Quinn. Sorry, I'm looking at the cast. So that's two of us couldn't remember her name.
Yeah.
Quinn.
Todd, anything?
For me, like I think the way Collie put it about it not happening to Sam, that like Sam's going out against it, like and fighting back. I think that's where this film stepped up for me. Like I don't rate it as a film as highly as the previous one, but I think the performance of Sam in particular by Melissa Barrera was like another sort of another jump for me in an already fantastic actress. And I think sort of her trying to balance that, not wanting to lose a sister again, but also want to look after her, really worked really well. Tasing some guy in the balls was fantastic. But like even the interaction between her and the detective, where she's like, you know, he brings her in almost like accusing her as such, and the way that kind of she handles that, I love that. And the final scene I know jumping ahead a little bit, but that final scene with her as Ghostface as such, like donning that mask and stuff, she embodied that really well. And I know it's down to the writing that she got to do that, but her performance and the anger and the sort of "you fucked with my family" type thing just worked really well. Again, the core four, to have them back and to have the twins there, and to have that sort of the meta commentary again from Mindy, was really cool. And I believed and I liked that Chad and Tara were becoming a thing. I think that's a nice little progression of, like, again, from that friendship into relationship. So yeah, the core four were amazing. Again, yeah, I liked what Dermot Mulroney did as the detective, but again, I feel like we've seen it. I feel like we've seen it 100 times before. There wasn't anything particular. And again, Jack Champion as the little sort of nerdy, quiet guy. Can I just ask quickly, did he go to that Halloween party dressed as your man from Murder Party?
Yes, yeah. That's right. I wasn't sure if you guys noticed it as well.
I was just like, what is going on?
I've got that, and I've got another bit of trivia that I'll talk to you about in a second.
Okay.
But yeah, 100%. I because it wasn't in the IMDb trivia, so I googled it, and people on Reddit were discussing it.
Okay,
I did the same as you, Collie. Yeah, because I was like, nah, it's definitely him.
Such a deep cut, like.
I know.
But yeah, yeah. So he, but again, he was fine. Quinn was fine, but it was the core four that kind of carried the film for me.
Mm-hmm. I thought as well that Jen Ortega and Melissa Barrera's relationship added another level to it as well. I thought they were, from the last film to this one, it's almost like there was more for them to kind of do, and it kind of the family side of things was more at the forefront. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I totally agree with the Chad and Tara kind of coming together. It's almost like they were. It's like trauma bonding or something like that, where basically you go through like a trauma and you kind of like go through together. So yeah, and then bond. Like I don't know where they get where the name for it from. But I will also add that when they were going to kiss on the bed, there's a Brian Fallon song playing. You've Stolen My Heart.
Oh my God, that's a great
singer-songwriter of all time. So.
I'm surprised you didn't mention it. Apparently, that was on the soundtrack for Devil's Due. Was a Gaslight Anthem song.
Was it?
According to Wikipedia, yeah.
I didn't hear it, so it didn't happen. Anyway,
I thought it was your man's brother was the greatest singer-songwriter of his time.
Who?
The guy who did Mud and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Ben Nichols. Yeah, he's second.
That's the name I haven't heard in a while. Yeah, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I really enjoyed again the quarter four. I thought they were very good. Collie, you had some trivia and stuff as well to discuss.
So I don't know if you caught it, but did you recognise the voice of the guy that was in Quinn's room that she was sleeping with?
I didn't, but I've seen a reel about it. I'll let you. But go on. I didn't.
It's Tim Robinson, Massey.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's Tim Robinson.
that does God.
And because he's like, who the fuck is, I don't know, whatever the fuck the other guy's name is, because is it Sam comes in? Yeah, Sam comes in, is asking about Tara and stuff like that, and then obviously Quinn comes out and it's just like fooling around with a guy or whatever, and then Sam's like, is that so and so? And then you hear Tim Robinson going, who the fuck is whatever his name is?
Yeah, it's amazing. I'd really like it as it made. Where like it was instead of the lines that he actually delivers, it's some of his actual lines. You should leave, or like chair company, would be fantastic.
That's funny. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'll need to go back and watch that scene again. Brilliant.
So, are you sure about that?
Oh God!
Just on that scene, actually, the Danny, the guy who lives across the way, I thought he was solid enough. I thought it was a nice addition of. Wouldn't it be cool if it was just if Ghostface was this handsome guy who lives across the way and he's just doing it for the crack, like as in there was no other reason than I recognise her, let's fucking do it, like. So it adds another level to it, but like I said, I thought he was solid as well.
Yep. To be fair, that's kind of almost what they were leaning towards. What the Flash Thompson and the guys were going to do at the start was just like they were like just obsessed with it, and there was no like familial ties to like previous killers or anything like that. So that's what they were kind of wanting to do with that. I think, but obviously, story-wise, they were like, it needs to be connected somehow and not just random guys. But I know what you mean, Todd. I think it would have been interesting.
Yep.
But fuck them. They killed Samara Weave and dickheads.
Yeah. Awful.
Shocking.
I know. Anything else? I think we've kind of covered, because it's a tough one because a lot of the stuff is sort of or the character wise is kind of from the one before. Maybe a couple of the kills. Was there any kills that kind of stood out for you guys, Todd?
Just in terms of, I loved Hayden Panettiere throwing the telly, like almost like what do you call it, Chekhov's TV type thing, where she's like, "Oh, that's Stu Match's TV" type thing. I thought that was really cool. But again, it's the level of brutality that comes back again. The seeing the stabbing, hearing it, and the kind like. Again, it's Sam at the end where she's kind of like, "I'm not going to do it. Actually, fuck it." And I thought that was wonderful. Yeah, again, it's just the brutality from me that I really liked. Knife through the mouth for is it Ethan? It is Ethan. Yeah, that knife through the mouth at the end I thought was a
and she
nice
twists it off, bro.
Yeah, there's a couple of times through these two films where I've kind of like. Where you kind of wince a little bit because it is quite visceral. Also, sorry, just on another note, there is a Last Podcast on the Left poster in the first flat. So now the aim is for like in a horror film in the future to have a lights camera discussion podcast poster somewhere up there. It is. But yeah,
So
that was
if you're watching in your next film.
I don't believe you're a hack, and I would like to be included in your next film. Yeah, that's it. Oh, sorry, and the other thing for me, just like, I know we talk about kills and just random tidbits. I hated that I know they had to mention Sydney in some way, shape, or form, but like, it was just like, oh, by the way, Sydney's got a family, and she's gone far away, blah, 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 and it was like 3 words, or 3 lines, and done. And that kind of like, it irked me a bit. But yeah.
It's fair. Collie?
So not so much kills, but I thought the Gail sequence in her apartment or whatever, I thought that was really, really good. And also the bit with Mindy on the train when like she kept watching the ghost face and then it was going dark and light and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden right there getting stabbed in the stomach. I thought that was really cool. So not killings per se, but obviously like chases or those kind of sequences were really good.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to touch on, or I think we covered?
No.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so favourite quotes then, Todd?
I couldn't. I'm going to cheat and go 2 Chad ones. The first one is when she keeps saying, when Quinn says, "I'm a cock blocking you," and she keeps saying cock block, and he's like, "Just stop saying cock." But then the other one is where she, in the final sort of fight, where she chops that mannequin's head off, and he like goes, "Beheadings," and it just took me out of it so much. I thought it was fantastic. So I took 2 short ones.
Mine was when after Ethan had died, and at the end when Sam's fighting Quinn, and she says, "Looks like you're down another brother." Like, it's just so brutal.
Yeah, that was my one. But I'll go with a different one that I had. It was after Tara stabs Ethan, and then she goes, "Now die a fucking virgin." I thought that was savage.
Favorite scene, Todd?
The shop bodega type thing with because I know it was a big controversy that like shotgun. Ghostface picked up a shotgun, but I loved it. I loved the intensity of it. That was, and even like the old video game thing of her picking up a cannon and throwing it to send him the wrong way. I thought it was really well done.
I also thought just the back of that, like the again, the kind of subversiveness of Ghostface doing that in front of everyone, not like a kind of sly kind of stabby kill. Like he was battering the folk in the bodega as well, wasn't he? So my favorite scene was the subway scene. I thought that was so intense, and like all the different costumes and stuff as well. And then, you know, as you say, the darkness and lightness, and then you know never know what's actually going to happen. Yeah, loved it. Collie?
Mine was the opening scene. I thought the Samara Weaving blind date thing, and it was so kind of stupid but meta, but also like, which is going down the dark alley, and the killer's even like, why have you went down a dark alley? You're supposed to be like this horror film professor or whatever. So it was silly, but I thought it was really good.
And obviously the dress as well. And MVPs. So Todd.
Yeah, for me in this one, it was Melissa Barrera. Like she was brilliant in the last one, but she really stepped up in this.
Collie?
And for me, it was Jenna Ortega. Funnily enough, I thought she stepped up as well as Barrera, but I thought like because she became a bit more of, because I think in the last film we didn't really discuss it, but she's not in it for the first 2/3 really, because she's stuck in the hospital. She's like injured and she's like having to, not really contribute. Whereas in this, I think she becomes like the equal main character. Whereas I think in the last one, she was like second to Sam. Whereas I think it's now the Carpenter like sisters in this. So I think Ortega really stepped up in this.
Definitely. Sorry, I laughed when you said Ortega because I've cheated and I've used Barrera and Ortega because I thought they were both.
Todd chose the whole. No, he chose the writers. I thought he was going to say the whole cast in the last film, but no, he chose the writers.
I knew he did choose the whole cast.
But yeah, same as you call it. I think like I think they both stepped up, and it was almost like they're both on equal footing. I think it was.
I think they both elevated each other's performances in this, and I think that's through the fact that they're believable sisters, and from like reading behind the scenes stuff, they are really, really close. And that's obviously like proven by the fact that we'll talk about it now, but Barrera has been removed from Scream 7 due to her comments online about the Palestine and Israel conflict and stuff like that, and Jenna Ortega. I think it was originally came out as a press release being like, scheduling conflicts with Wednesday or whatever. And she came out and was like, no, I just don't want to do it without the two directors and Barrera, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good on.
Fair enough. Okay, scorings then. Todd.
Yeah, so I went with 4 stars again with this one.
Good stuff. I also went 4 stars. Collie?
I went with 4, but it's one of those ones that because I'm trying to do it as the directors for this, but also as part of the series, I preferred the last one, but I would feel harsh putting this one as a 3.5. So maybe I should, whenever our next watch 5, make that a 4.5 to make it differentiated, because I think I prefer 5 to 6, but yeah.
Fair. Absolutely fair. All right. On to the final film from our hack friends. Todd, what are we talking about?
That's just because they're 2 names and they're quite long. That's literally
the
only reason.
Literally the only reason. Yeah. And Devil's Due.
Not true.
So, our final film is 2024's Abigail. A group of eclectic criminals are sent on a simple job. Kidnap the child of an unknown tycoon for 24 hours and hold her for ransom. The job is a lot more than they expected when they are hunted by a creature that is far from human.
First thoughts, Todd. Let us know.
I love this film. Again, it's silly. It's just good fun. It's ridiculous. The only thing is the marketing for it. I'd have much rather. I know this is a conversation that a lot of people have had and a comment that a lot of people have made, but I would have much rather have gone in not knowing what the creature was, and that these people were keeping this kid, and then the reveal that the kid is the vampire. That would have been rather than there's a kid chasing them and it's a vampire. But that doesn't take away from the fact that, like, again, the cast are just doing bits. Like, just the whole way through, just doing bits. And it's a good script. I think that it's a lot of fun. It's gory again. And that sort of one location setting really works as well.
Yep. I'm totally with you. I really wish that the reveal hadn't been kind of given in the whole marketing and stuff. I think it would have been a strong thing. Not that it takes away from it. It just kind of softens it a little bit. But yeah, it's such a fun film. This is my second time watching it. I watched it just after it came out. And again, this is one that my wife, who doesn't like films really, said, oh yeah, I'll sit and watch it with you because of the strength of Ready or Not, and she actually really enjoyed it as well. I just say the cast, top to bottom, is just fun. It's a great time. and I love how kind of um it's almost intimate, but it's not. It's like intimate in the way that it's a relatively small cast. It's one setting, and yeah, they're just having an absolute blast. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Collie?
Yeah, just kind of echoing what you said. I had noted down that the marketing and the spoiling of the well, not the premise of the film, but like the plot of the film more than anything. That being spoiled kind of brought it down a little bit, because when I first watched this, I was underwhelmed somewhat after enjoying both of the Scream films that the guys had done and Ready or Not. So yeah, I enjoyed it on rewatches a bit more, knowing what was going to happen from start to finish. I think the rewatchability of this is actually quite high compared to perhaps the Scream films. When you know the twist, maybe you're not as keen to rewatch them. But yeah, enjoyed it. I think like the eclectic cast was really good, some standouts especially that we'll run through. But yeah, just a solid directorial film by the guys that we're discussing today. So yeah, I think it's a solid film, and obviously I know they're going back to Ready or Not next, but even if they weren't, it's enough for me that I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go with next as well.
Sorry, I was just laughing there because I'm reading back my notes and some of the quotes that I've written down. It's such a quotable film. Like, it's just insanely quotable. But yeah, I mean, Todd, as I say, it's an eclectic cast, relatively small cast. Take us through who stood out for yourself and why.
Well, obviously, Melissa Barrera again as that kind of the emotional through line. I think is important. Like, she doesn't really have any of the sort of big funny moments. She's kind of the drama of the whole thing, and the connection to Abigail, and I think to do that against such big characters, like as in the actual characters in the film are so over the top. I think she does an amazing job of that. I thought she was phenomenal. Dan Stevens can do no wrong. That man just is. I think he picks projects really well as well, like as in the films that he's in, and like, do you know what I mean? He has blockbuster sort of credential. He could be in any sort. You could put him in any franchise film as the lead, and I think he'd do a really good job, largely because of the way that he looks. But he's got the performance chops as well. But he likes playing like these strange characters and these kind of like, he's a character actor. So yeah, I thought he was brilliant. The other one for me is Catherine Newton. I think she's like the next big thing. She was amazing in this. Her physicality when she turns into a vampire, in the sort of in the attic room, I think it is, was really cool. I know that I'll let you speak on a couple of other members of the cast. I know I haven't really left you much, but I thought, yeah, them three in particular for me are like sort of the big things at the minute, or the next big things.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Dan Stevens is fantastic. Like, I think he's such a good actor, and he's like he's willing to kind of go into the silliness as well as kind of going down like the more serious kind of route. Like, obviously, like in The Guest, like he kind of goes into that, but then you've got things like the Eurovision film where he's just giving his all as like this the Eurovision singer and stuff, and then in this, of course, again, just some of the most quotable lines ever. Again, Melissa Barrera, as you say, I think she's fantastic. Yeah, as you say, it's kind of like the sort of the serious one where the others are kind of characters. She's like the person while everyone else is a character kind of thing. Kevin Durand for me totally stood out. Like, just his accent, which I believe is actually his
That's
native
his real
accent.
accent,
Yeah. And because his physicality as well, just being such a big dude, and it just came across so hilarious with the way he spoke. 'Cause it was such a soft-spoken-y kind of almost subversive of his actual, the way he looks, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm with you with Catherine Newton. I think she's a great actress, and she's going to be in Ready or Not 2 as well, so that will be very good to see. And I mean, I'll just quickly touch on her, but Alicia Weir, playing essentially a dual role as naive child and bloodthirsty monster. I thought she was absolutely phenomenal in this film. Collie?
Yeah, I mean, you've covered a lot of the bases. I thought Alicia Weir, like you say, was excellent. With the dual role and having to play, you know, the innocent girl to then the monster. I thought she did great on both counts there. Dan Stevens is brilliant. I don't know if you've seen it, Massey. I know you have, Todd. That Cuckoo that came out last year.
Oh, I've not seen it.
It just reminded me of his performance in that, and just weird. It's just strange, like, but in a good way, and in a like an intriguing and like you know, you want to just like focus in on his performance. And yeah, kind of what you touched on, Massey. Catherine Newton's really good in this, and I'm excited to see what she's going to do in the sequel to Ready or Not To. And Kevin Durant's, yeah, just a great like, you know, second tier actor. But kind of what Tom was saying about Dan Stevens, just a good character actor. Just give him, you know, not too much to do or whatever, and he nails it.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, like, with Kevin Durant, I'd obviously known about him before and stuff like that, but seeing, like, his behind-the-scenes stuff for Kingdom of the Planet... Is it Kingdom? The latest Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Like, the way that he almost transforms himself, like, you know, his physicality-wise and the way he holds himself, I think, like, I gained more respect for him and stuff as well. So the more I see him in doing stuff, the more I kind of look towards the other stuff he does as well in the roles. So yeah, I really appreciate what he did. Shout out Angus Cloud as well, who obviously passed away. He's quite a dopey kind of guy, but also sort of well-meaning and sort of, you know, he wants to kind of get to know Sammy a bit more and stuff as well. I thought it was quite a performance that, you know, also felt a bit more human because he made mistakes and he said silly things and he did silly things, but he also felt like he had a heart, kind of thing as well. So yeah, shout out to him. Any others you want to touch on, Todd? I know we kind of
just Giancarlo Esposito. Like, he's an absolute legend. Do you know what I mean? And he doesn't have a lot to do. He's in and out, but I thought he was excellent as well. But I mean, that is the cast, isn't it? Oh, and William Colette as Rickles, but again, he's not there for a long time. Do you know what I mean?
just there for a good time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, and at one point,
I
think he is, because him and Joey, that relationship. But like you say, that is essentially the cast. And it's a tight cast, but a one that works really well.
Collie, anyone else?
No, just a comment on Giancarlo Esposito. Like, I don't know. Like, I wish he could do more or got more in films and stuff. Like, he's arguably played one of the most iconic villains on a TV show, you know. And every time you see him in a film, he's just not there for long, or like. Sorry.
Or he's just Gus Fring.
Yeah, but that's fine though. That's absolutely fine. But I just think, like, in terms of his sinister nature, like, I think he's on par with Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards and stuff. I think he's got that within him. I don't know if he's not choosing the right roles or what it is, but I just think he's wasted in so many films.
That's fair enough. It's a fair comment, definitely. Favorite quotes then, or do you want anything else you want to discuss, or?
No, I'm happy to do the categories.
Yeah. Okay, Todd, favorite quote, go for it.
It was only ever going to be one, and it is Sammy, those are fucking onions. Like that every time. I lose my shit at that every single time, and it's the timing of it is perfect. The delivery, the accent from an Englishman to deliver that in a New York accent is just, it's fantastic, and it will go down as one of the best lines in modern horror.
I'm exactly the same. I can't see past that line. It's just the way he says it and the way he points. It's just, and the way he's like so exasperated about it as well. It's pitch perfect. It really is. It really is. Collie?
I had the Abigail one right at the end when she's like, here's the thing about being a vampire. It takes a long fucking time to learn how to do all the cool shit. Because obviously he thought he was going to be able to turn her and then kill Abigail and become, like, you know, this top guy or whatever. So I thought that was really well delivered by Alicia Weir.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Favorite scene, Todd?
It was that first sort of ballet fight when they first realise who she is and they go up to like that little mini theatre room. I thought really well choreographed. It was believable that this one creature could sort of kick shit out of all of these people. And it was a lot of fun as well, which is what I've come to this film for.
Yeah. Mine was the sort of when Kathy Newton got taken, became like a puppet kind of thing, and her physicality matched with Alicia Weir's the dancing. I thought was absolutely spot on. It was really, really good. Collie?
For me, it was the final fight with Dan Stevens. I thought was really good, and then like when they pull him apart, or whatever, and it's just this massive explosion of blood.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Good stuff. And then finally, MVP, Todd.
I've got to go with Dan Stevens. I have to, absolutely have to.
I was going to, but I had to go with Alicia Weir. I just think she was physically immense as well as like, actually acting her ass off. So yeah, I went for her. And Collie?
It was Dan Stevens for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, and finally, our rankings. No, not our rankings, our ratings, sorry. Our ratings for Abigail. Todd?
I've got it down as 4, but I think it's more I talk about it, and I've watched this film a lot, and I've rated it 4 every time. I think it's higher, but it's 4 on Letterboxd, so it's 4 here.
I'm the same as you, 4 stars, but I think it might be higher. But yeah, 4 stars I'm absolutely fine with. Collie?
3.5 for me.
Fair enough. Okay, well, let's do our rankings of these guys. See, I'm not calling them hacks anymore because they've earned my respect. So Todd, 1 to 5 or 5 to 1, whatever you want to do.
So start from the bottom. Devil's Due, no surprise. Scream 6. Then there's sort of a fight between Scream and Abigail, but for this one I've gone Scream, then Abigail, and then In a League of Its Own is Ready or Not.
No way.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe, but
yeah, for me it's Devil's Due, also bottom. Then I've got Scream. Then I've got Abigail. Then Scream 6. Then Ready or Not. But I think probably Scream 6 Abigail might be switchies. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Collie?
Devil's Due at the bottom, then Abigail, Scream 6, Scream, and then Ready or Not.
Good stuff. Excellent. Well, that is us at the end of our episodes, our 2-part episodes of excuse me, of Todd's Choice, Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillet. So what we do now is we announce our next excuse me, my throat doesn't want me to talk about the next director. We talk about our next director. So the next episode will be coming out around Christmas time. And the director we're going to be talking about is the one, the only, Neil Breen. Now, if you've not heard of Neil Breen, he is almost an Oscar winner. But the films we'll be talking about are I Am Here Now, Fateful Findings, Pass Through, Twisted Pair, and Cade, The Tortured Crossing. If you've never heard Neil Breen, if you don't know who he is, basically he's known as being like one of the worst directors of all time. He stars in the films, he does the catering in the films and stuff as well. A couple
catering in the films.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah. Like, what a thing to point out.
Listen, he's an all-rounder. So yes, we'll be doing that in our next episode. It'll probably be one part. I think we'll be able to kind of mash it all into one.
15 minutes.
Yeah. But if you have never seen them before, there's a couple of them that are on YouTube. You can find a couple thereabouts. Let me know if you want. I can kind of point you in the right direction. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to our next episode. But that is the next one. Guys, as always, if you're watching on YouTube, please remember to like, subscribe, let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode. And of course, if you're listening on Spotify, please remember to follow and give us a 5 stars as well. But thank you so much for listening, watching, and we'll see you in the next one. We talk about the master, Neil Breen. Bye-bye.
Cheers, everyone.
thank you.